Hello and welcome to Tutorials by Larry. My name is Larry King, and this is episode 5 of our Minecraft 1.18 Let's Play series. So in the last episode, a few of my buddies here and I decided to go kill the Ender Dragon, as you could see by that little trophy there on the tower. And I also went and built a little mob grinder over here. That was a lot of fun. Built some farmland back by our base and just kind of did some chores and so forth around our land here. So today's episode, I think I really want to focus on automation. I want to build some, maybe like an automated sugarcane farm, a little bit better forge or something for the mine there, better way to smelt all of our ores, and maybe even a villager trading hall. And I kind of think I might build it in this area right here. So just want to thank you all again for tuning in to another episode here, and hope it's entertaining, and hope you guys can learn a thing or two along the way. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go see if I can find a couple of villagers to kidnap or borrow, and then bring them back here to the house and get started on the villager trading hall. So I'll see you all here in a little bit. Okay, well, I managed to get a couple of villagers. It was a bit of a journey getting them here, but I was able to actually find a boat route the whole way to bring them over. So I locked a couple of them in as librarians, and went ahead and made a couple of new villagers here. So I'm going to start reproducing these guys some more, and then start building a place for them to call home. Build some permanent stations for them, and also a way to zombify them to try to get those trades a little bit cheaper. Because right now, I got one of them locked in with a mending book, and it's like 38 emeralds or something like that. So I don't have that many emeralds yet. So probably going to try to get that a little bit cheaper. So while I've been doing that, I figured I'll start some of my automation projects that I've been wanting to do, and that I talked about wanting to do for this particular video. The whole idea really is, this is kind of a cool thing about Minecraft, is that it's a game that, since its inception, really, the developers came up with these ideas, of using redstone and using other tools to sort of automate some of your processes and to create these little factories and these little sort of farming tools, things like that. And so I decided, I want to start doing some of that while I'm working on these projects, just so that Minecraft can sort of work for me. And started working on a couple of those projects too. So first thing I want to show you is somebody on the server turned on my sheep rainbow color, and pretty positive it was Thokgrave. Yeah, we like to play pranks on each other sometimes. So anyway, all my sheep are going through these nice little rainbow effects. So it's kind of cool looking. Okay, so first thing I started doing is I started kind of just flying through the forest, and I found a bunch of beehives, and I just silk touched, just broke them off, and I went and transplanted them all here. And I'm actually able to produce some honey and honeycomb and whatnot. So that's been working out pretty good. They're not all producing honey yet, so I'm not really sure why that is. But I've got a couple over here that just can't seem to get any bees in. And tried the couple of tricks that I know how to do. So I don't know if any of you have any tips. Please leave them in the comments. But yeah, these things have been producing honey pretty good. So, and honeycomb. And it's just one of those things you can just kind of, let run in the background, and it'll work for you. So let me show you the next project here. Just right over here. So I built... Oh, got a little friend there. Built a little automated sugarcane farm. and it goes about, let's see, I think I did 18 blocks deep on there, and using a pretty common design that you see quite a bit, just using an observer and a piston. And basically, once the sugar cane grows up to the height of the observer, the piston breaks it off and it just falls through this block here. Now, I am using a single solid block, these grass blocks here. And so, in order to gather the sugar cane that breaks off, I have a mine cart that's just constantly circling around through the area. And I added a little bit of redstone circuitry so that what'll actually happen is when the minecart gets something inside of it, it uses a comparator, and it will actually pause right above the chest here, and until all of its contents are dumped out, and then it'll start its cycle back round and round and around again. So I'm able to, gather a little bit so far. It hasn't been a ton, but it's been a good start, and that'll definitely help my rocket production quite a bit. So the other thing I want to show you is right in here, I built sort of like I guess you'd call it a super smelter. It's not that super, but basically the idea is, got a couple of hoppers here. You just throw your fuel into this one. You throw whatever it is you want to smelt into this one. And again, it uses this minecart system. So I've got this minecart just bouncing back and forth, and I haven't fully come underneath the double chest. It's not the most efficient. It doesn't fill all of these furnaces perfectly evenly. There's some other tricks you can do to make that happen, but it's one of those things that it was a little more time consuming than I wanted to spend on it. So I'm just really just having to dump out fuel into these, and also the items that it wants to smelt, and so it tends to kind of gravitate more towards these front furnaces. But if I have enough stuff in there, it'll actually fill up, all the way down to these back furnaces as well. But it's definitely a pretty efficient little smelter. And so yeah, anything I want to basically smelt, making some smooth stone, cracked deep slate bricks, things like that. It's been good for that. So anyway, so that's about where I'm at so far for the automation projects. So I'm actually going to start building out this villager trading area a little bit more, and maybe do a little time lapse here of that. So I'm gonna get that going. See if we can get some good book trades started. I'll see you all in a little bit. Well, there it is. That is my villager trading hall. It ended up being a lot bigger than I thought it would be, and definitely very happy with it. Though I think it turned out great. I'm not done yet. I still need to decorate it, do some fine tuning, and maybe some more texturing, things like that. But I think I'm pretty happy with the general build there. So I'll go ahead and walk you through that here in just a second. But I wanted to show you something. I came back to my house here, and this is just so cool. Thanks for letting me borrow your farm for gunpowder. Thank you. Thanks. Danka. TY. I also grabbed some bones, spider eyes, and zombie flesh. So this is all from KingYeti. He just wanted to borrow my mob spawner that I had built, just so he can get some supplies. But look what he gave me. This is just amazing. These golden carrots are so valuable, as you all know, and 4 mending books and some really, really cool building blocks. So I just wanted to show you that. That was just really a cool gesture. Just, we play with some pretty awesome people here on the server. So, okay, so before I show you or give you a tour of the Villager Trading Hall, I wanted to show you something else too. Since we're really talking about automation and stuff in this episode, there is another piece of automation I wanted to show you. It's really small. It's really minor. It's not a big deal. Most of you probably already do this kind of thing, but let me just kind of show you this. I'm going to grab some seeds here. Got a stack of wheat seeds. So if any of you have ever done any farming, you know that when you harvest your wheat, you end up with not a lot of wheat, but a ton of extra seeds that you really just don't know what to do with. So usually I end up throwing them out, things like that. But if you throw them inside of a composter or composta, if you're British, and right now I just basically have a hopper up here, so you can throw anything organic in here. It'll pipe it into the composter. Below here is another hopper that feeds right into this barrel. So, oops, that was my last rocket. Great. So basically, let's just throw our seeds in there, and it'll just pump them right into here. It's kind of a slow process, but over time, get a nice little bone meal farm. So just kind of one of those things that you just have a bunch of extra, maybe trees and stuff that you've chopped down, some saplings or some seeds, you name it. It'll just pump it right into here, and every now and then make some bone meal. So kind of cool. Okay, so we're not going to fly over here since I'm out of rockets. But I'll give you a little bit of a tour here and show you what I'm working on. So once again, I do need to decorate this a little bit, sort of fine tune it. And this build, it's not my idea. I actually was inspired by a YouTuber, and I'll go ahead and leave a link to his or her tutorial down below. But LionCheater is the name of the YouTuber, and they do some really, really cool builds. And this one, I really just like the look of it. It kind of fit with the whole medieval style I was going for. So I went ahead and went with the general shape. So I'm not sure how they decorated their interior, but I'm working on mine now. So basically this is, like I said, it's going to be a Villager Trading Hall. You can see I've already got a couple of stalls already set up here, ready to go. I've got a Master Librarian right here, and I have actually infected him with a zombie and cured him, and I'll show you how I did that here in a second. Yeah, so I'm doing mending books now for 1 emerald. It's kind of cool. And this guy, I locked him in at Fortune 2. I know it's not as good as Fortune 3, but they're easy enough to combine the books once you get this selling price down a little bit. So he's just a novice. This guy here is just a novice, but I was able to get Silk Touch. So that is obviously very useful as well. And then on this side, I'm going to be putting some more of the sort of emerald generator types. So you've got fishermen, and we'll probably do like a farmer or things like that. So, I'll probably build a couple. Pardon me, a couple of extra stalls like here and here for more emerald producers, and a couple more over here for more librarians, maybe even some in the middle, things like that. So I'm just going to kind of branch it out a little bit more. And I think I hear a raid. So let me show you this really quick. So let me just complete my railroad track. Kind of show you how I have my infection system going. Okay, let's give this guy a little push. And let's give him a little push. A little more. Okay, so he's going to cruise on in there. And I built this back area here underground, And what this is all about is this is where I'm going to be breeding extra villagers, turning them into useful villagers. And then right back here, got a zombie back in this area, back in here. His name is Bad Guy. And so this guy will come up all the way here, and he'll stop. Bad Guy will infect him, and then I can go ahead and cure this guy. So let me, I'm just going to, actually, let me break, I'll break this track right here. Yeah, that'll be good enough. And then I'll, just to get him away from the zombie, because I really don't know if these weakness potions can actually hurt the zombie, and they're not easy to catch and stick in this little hovel here, so I want to make sure and keep him safe. So basically, if you've all seen this before, you need a splash potion of weakness, and you need a golden apple. So once you get this guy up more isolated, throw down your splash potion. Looks like I splashed myself, and then we'll get the golden apple, feed it to him. Lots of drama happens here, and in probably about 5 minutes, takes about a good 5 minutes, he will turn into a villager again. And he was selling the mending books for 9 emeralds. Let's see what they turn out here in a second. So I'm gonna go ahead and let this run, and I'll be with you in just a second. Okay, so he's all done. Let's see. Yep. So now we can get Silk Touch Book for just a single emerald. So that's pretty sweet. All right, so let's go ahead and push this guy back to his home location. Let's see. Off you go, buddy. Well, basically what I'll do now is I'll just stick a lectern right in front of him and break the railroad track and the mine cart, and then he'll be in his home location. And I'll train him on up as high as I can, try to get him to master level, and then we'll just kind of rinse and repeat this process for all the villagers in here. So yeah, so that is the villager trading hall. So I'm going to, like I said, decorate this some more. Hopefully it'll be nice and pretty for maybe the thumbnail of this video by the time this is done. But I'm going to do one more automation project. I'm going to kind of use this storage area, or I guess little, I don't know, farming area in here. So I think I might have showed him earlier, but that is just so strange that he got trapped in there. Fortunately, he hasn't tried taking out any of my blocks or anything like that, but kind of cool. Anyway, so I think what I'm going to do is maybe repurpose this side of it over here, kind of build it out more this way, and kind of build another automation farm over on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that, and I will see you all here in a little bit. Well, I tried to do a time lapse, but something glitched on me. So I'm going to, maybe what I'll do is I'll go to like a flat world, kind of show you how I did all the redstone in here and show you how this works. But basically this bamboo farm is built completely right inside of this mountain right here. So hopefully just a nice good way to hide that. But yeah, before I show you that though, how I built it, I want to show you something else. So Thokgrave actually has built a really cool Enderman spawner in the end, and it is absolutely amazing. It just produces a ton of XP. So I'm going to cruise on over there real quick, and we can take a look and see how this thing works, because it's pretty sweet. Okay, here we are. So yeah, this is the entrance here. It's just kind of cool. Men at work. That's nice. Okay, so let's cruise on down this little elevator. And then, ooh. Oh, see you later. All right, we'll just chase him. Let me take care of this Enderman real quick. All right, cool. So yeah, kind of loud and noisy here, but check out all the XP you get from this thing. Take these these down. This is crazy. So yeah, this is a little creation from Thokgrave. So, not trying to steal his thunder. You should definitely check out his video on his channel. Of course, I will always link his channel down below. But yeah, kind of cool. Got a whole enchanting setup here. A little bit of a chest monster going on there. So nice. So yeah, this is pretty cool stuff. Anyway, just want to show you that real quick. Okay, well, I realize these are not tutorial videos, but I thought maybe I should try to explain a little bit about how some of these automated farms work in case some of you just don't understand the way the redstone works. Redstone can be kind of complicated, and understanding how all the components work is pretty important, but these farms are not difficult, but it's kind of nice to know exactly what's happening here and how they actually work. So this is going to be a simple bamboo farm right here, and the way the philosophy works here is you have basically just two redstone components. You have an observer, which are the three across the top that are looking at us, and then you have these pistons down below. And the way an observer works, let me show you. We'll go ahead and put one down. There's two ends of the observer. There's the part that views, and then there's the part back here that sort of emits power. And the way an observer works is if anything in the block, just this one block right here, changes, it will send out a redstone pulse, basically a pulse of energy. So if we put a block in front of it like that, or say break the block in front of it, it sends out a bit of energy. So if we are to say run a line of redstone power out of the back, and then say give something like a piston right here that requires power, and then we change what's in front of it. So basically it emits the power from here, runs across the line into this, and then this thing does what it's supposed to do. In this case, it just shoots forward. So in the case of the sugarcane farms, these will move forward and break the sugar cane right above the one block limit here. So if we were to say grow this sugar cane all the way to the top, the observer sees it, emits power, and then all three of these pistons fire. So that's kind of important to understand of what's happening here. So what's going on behind here is the power is getting emitted, and just kind of like we have here in this example. But we have three of these side by side. Of course, you can chain this quite a ways to the left and to the right here. But what's happening is it's spitting out power. If you look at the way the redstone dust is sitting on the block below it, so this is spitting out power into this line, right? It's powering the block behind it, and it's powering this up, and this one all at the same time. They're all connected, okay? And so what's happening there, it's generating power into all these blocks at the same time. That's how all three of these pistons are firing at the same time, because they are now connected to a block that has power. In this case, it's kind of what's happening right here. This block right here is going to get power, and this block is adjacent to it. It's right next to it, so therefore it's going to fire off. And that's how this farm here works. So it's a pretty simple concept. You just create power into the block that's touching the piston, and the piston will fire. And that power is created because the observer sees a change. So now with the bamboo farm, it's a little bit more complicated because you're going to have your pistons down at the same level as what you would do with your sugarcane farm, but bamboo can grow quite a bit higher. So probably, I don't know, maybe about a dozen blocks or so is about where you want to go. And you're going to have the same philosophy. You've got these observers looking forward, and as soon as it sees the bamboo that's high enough, it's going to send out a signal and power these three blocks. So how do we get power from up here all the way down to these guys? Well, using the concept of the observer, we can, let me just put one right here. So this observer is looking in at this redstone power. So when any of these see something, they're going to emit power, and it's going to, of course, affect this whole line right here. But this guy's going to see any change that happens to this block right here. So he's going to emit power, or he's going to change his state, basically from powered off to powered on. So what if we then have an observer looking up at him? And then another one. And you kind of keep following this philosophy all the way down. Let's go down a little further here. Okay, so basically, this is now going to power the block below it, right here. So as soon as one of these guys sees something, it's going to emit power, and then it's going to create this chain reaction where all these observers see the guy in front of it change. So he's going to see this guy, he's going to see this guy, so forth and so on, all the way down. And that power chain is going to come all the way down and emit into this block right here. So we can put some redstone there. That's going to get powered as soon as something happens at the top. And then theoretically we have to do is just run that power into these pistons, right? Well, there's a problem. Pistons don't, since they don't emit power, they're taking power, you have to run the line directly into them. And so if you look at this redstone line, sure, that's going to get power, but all it's going to do is just run the power straight across. These guys aren't going to get anything happening to them. So we have to basically direct the power a little bit differently into the back of these guys, since they're not, in this case, they're actually right on top, and all this is all connected, and that's how they're getting power all at the same time. So in order to make these guys all fire at the same time, the way we do that is with a repeater. So a repeater will pump the power directly into the block in front of it, in this case. So then what we could do is run our redstone line behind here. So when this guy gets powered, it's going to send the power this way and all the way down to all three of these repeaters at once. They're going to then create a power pulse and push it right into the piston. And that is literally it. So let's just test this real quick here. I'm just going to put a block right in front of one of these guys. And if you look down, it takes a second for the power to travel that far, but that's essentially it. And of course, it'll work with any of these. So kind of cool. And that is essentially it. So, once you plant your bamboo down here, and it does grow pretty fast, it will eventually make its way all the way to the top. And I guess we can simulate that real quick here. Sorry. Spacebar happy. Boom. And that's all there is to it. So yeah, so that's, again, it's, like I said, this really wasn't intended as a tutorial, but it feels important to understand the way these observers work, and the way you run your redstone lines into other components too. Redstone's a little weird, but I think once you kind of understand some of the concepts, you get to some pretty cool things with it. Anyway, I think that is it for today's video. So I just want to thank you all again for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, if you haven't subscribed, you want to see more of this kind of content, just hit that subscribe button and I'll keep making more of it. Have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you next time.